Everyone, this side Preet Kamal. I'm a lecturer at Mehchand's Polytechnic College, Jalandhar. Today, I will be discussing with you the subject of electronic devices and circuits. And before starting with the subject details, I would like to share an important information that is about Mission Fateh, a campaign run by the Punjab government. It says that we should wash our hands regularly, we should use sanitizer, mask, and along with that we should maintain the social distancing rules so that we could come out of the pandemic situation of COVID-19 as early as possible. So let's move on quickly to the subject, that is EDC. Today I will share with you the equation that how we can calculate the collector efficiency in case of the power amplifiers. As in the previous lecture I have discussed with you the collector efficiency, the distortion and the power dissipation factor, that is the performance quantities of the power amplifier. So today here I will be sharing with you the equation that how we could calculate the efficiency of a collector efficiency of a power amplifier. Okay, and this is necessary so that we could come to know that when we talk about the classes of amplifiers, class A, B, C and all these classes of the amplifiers, then we should be generally calculate that the collector efficiency of class A amplifier is say 35% approximately, and then the collector efficiency of say class B amplifier is something else, class C is something else. How, on what measures actually this efficiency is being calculated? This is the basic thing, that is why I am considering it and I am sharing this equation with you all. So let's first I will tell you that what a collector efficiency is. It is basically the performance of a power amplifier. It is one measure that we calculate to check whether the power amplifier is working effectively, efficiently or not. So this is one measure of that power amplifier circuit, right? So the expression we would say, this is the term called as eta. I have already told eta is equal to the ratio of AC power output divided by the DC power input. So that means that whatever the power is present at the output of AC signal, power present at the output divided by the DC signal power at the input, is basically, this ratio is basically named as the collector efficiency. And when we talk about the AC power output, we write it PAC, and when we talk about the DC power input, we write it PDC. And when we calculate the power, then we always say that power in the AC circuit is the multiplication of voltage and current. Whether it is an AC circuit or it is in DC circuit, it is the multiplication of voltage and current, right? So in case of AC signal power, it is the multiplication of collector emitter voltage, AC voltage. That is why I have used here the terms small. The small letters are used for representing the AC voltage and current, and the capital values are used, capital signals or capital alphabets are used to represent the DC parameters, right? So whenever you will see or you have to write anything in AC signals, then you have to write it in the small letters and denoted with the small letters. And whenever you have to write anything in DC, then you will definitely write it in the capital letters. So here is the difference between the two. So PAC, the AC signal power at the output side, is basically calculated with the help of VCE, that is the collector emitter AC voltage, that is around the transistor points, that is collector point and the emitter point or terminals, collector terminal and emitter terminal. In between that, what is the voltage present is called the VCE. Then the current, that is the current. Then what is the current flowing through the collector side at the output side is basically called as the IC, the AC output collector current, right? Then when we talk about the input DC signal, then we will calculate it with the help of VCC that we provide at the collector side, and then the IC, that is the collector current, that is provided at the input side. Fine. So when we talk about the VCE and IC in detail, then we should know that what VCE is and what IC is. So I would rather say here that VCE is calculated, it is basically the RMS value. The root means square value. VCE is basically the RMS value of the output signal voltage, and IC is the RMS value of the output signal current, right? So they are written as VCE from peak to peak, and when we talk about the RMS value, it is multiplied by half and under root 2 at the denominator. Similarly for the IC, it is IC from peak to peak divided by under root 2, because it is the root mean square value, right, and multiplied by half. Okay, for this, how this value comes, you have to go to the basic electronics, and then you have to find it out. At this position you just have to remember it as it is. Otherwise you have to clear your basics for finding out that how it comes. Okay, then let us now know that what is the meaning of VCE, what is the value of IC is, what is the value of VCE is. So let us put these values together and make VCE into IC. So it will become VCE into IC, that is PAC, that is equals to VCE peak to peak divided by 2 root 2 multiplied by IC peak to peak divided by 2 root 2. So when we calculate 2 root 2, it becomes 2 into 2 is 4, and root 2 into root 2 is 2, to 4 into 2 is 8, right? I hope this calculation is clear to you, and it is not so much complex that I should repeat it again and again. So in numerator it will be PC peak to peak and IC peak to peak, and in the denominator when we calculate 2 root 2 into 2 root 2, it will come out to be 8, right? So now we have come with this value, that is PAC is equals to VC peak to peak into IC peak to peak divided by 8. So let's put this value PAC into this equation of eta, that is the collector efficiency. So it comes out to be this, that eta, that is the collector efficiency, is equals to VC peak to peak into IC peak to peak divided by 8 multiplied by VCC into IC. That was the value here of PDC, right? So with this we are clear that how the collector efficiency is calculated. That means whatever is the output signal voltage from peak to peak, whatever is the input signal voltage and current that we are providing to the circuit, all of this, when they are combined in this manner, then they make the collector efficiency. So let's move on, and I will tell you now about that how the collector efficiency is calculated in class A amplifier circuit. So when we talk about the collector efficiency of class A amplifier circuit, then first of all we would consider the two half cycles that in which we are working. So let's consider this graph of say the output characteristics of the transistor, as we all discussed it, right? So here at this x-axis we are having VC, that is the collector emitter voltage, and at these axes we are having IC, that is the collector current. Now when we talk about the positive half cycle, we consider here that at this particular position, the total collector current in the positive half cycle, the total collector current is 2IC. It ranges from 0 to 2IC, right? And when we talk about the VCE at this position, then it is equal to 0. But when we talk about this x-axis, and the negative half cycle, at the negative half cycle, when the negative half cycle is present, at that time the collector current, this is equals to 0, and the collector emitter voltage is equals to 2 VCC at this position, right? So these are in between the two operating points. This is the operating point, what the transistor is working at this position, that is at the maximum level of IC and at the maximum level of VCE. So at these two positions, whenever we talk about the positive half cycle, at that time the collector current is maximum, and at the position of say voltage or the negative half cycle, then the voltage is maximum and the current is 0. So in this case, so we could say here that VCE peak to peak, if we consider VCE from this peak to this peak, then it is equals to 2 VCC. And if we consider IC, this IC from peak to peak, from this peak to this peak, then it will be equal to 2 IC, 0 to 2 IC. It will be 2 IC. So what does this become? The VCE peak to peak divided by RL. If we consider the VC peak to peak divided by RL, then it will become equal to 2 VCC by RL. RL is exactly equal to RL, and VC peak to peak is equals to 2 VCC. And if we talk about the RL dash, that is the resistance, that is the load resistance at which position, at the primary side and at the secondary side. We consider the two loads, right? This is at the primary side and this one is at the secondary side. So RL dash, as we have calculated it in the previous lecture, that is about the impedance matching of the transformer. Then N square is the ratio of N1 and N2, that is the number of turns of the transformer. N square is the ratio, and RL dash is equals to N square multiplied by RL. So PDC, that is the DC power at the input side, that is equals to VCC into IC, that we have considered is in the collector efficiency. जो अभी हम लोगों ने सर्किट किया था, जो अभी हम लोगों ने इक्वेशन करी थी इससे पहले कलेक्टर एफिशिएंसी की, ये हम स्पेसिफिकली बात कर रहे हैं क्लास ए एम्पलीफायर सर्किट की, राइट? तो PDC तो वही रहेगा जो हम लोग DC पहले प्रोवाइड करी थी पावर हम लोगों ने, जो अभी हमने कलेक्टर एफिशिएंसी वाला किया इक्वेशन, राइट? तो उसमें क्या है, VCC इंटू IC होता है. तो अगर हम लोग उसके साथ लोड को कंसिडर करना हो तो V इज इक्वल्स टू आई इंटू आर, राइट? तो VCC की जगह पे हमने लिख दिया IC इंटू RL डैश, और IC अगर एज इट इज उसके साथ मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो इट विल कम आउट टू बी IC स्क्वायर इंटू RL dash, right? Then when we talk about the PAC, that is the AC power at the output side, that we have also calculated VC peak to peak into IC peak to peak divided by 8, जो अभी हमने कलेक्टर एफिशिएंसी में कैलकुलेट किया. तो अब VC peak to peak की वैल्यू हमें पता है 2 VCC है. IC peak to peak अभी हम लोगों ने कैलकुलेट करी है ये वैल्यू, that is equals to 2 IC divided by 8 as it is. तो 2 और 8 कैंसिल होंगे तो बचेगा क्या पीछे, 2, राइट? तो यहाँ पे वी विल गेट हेयर 2 जब ये कैंसिल आउट होंगे. तो ये क्या बना, PAC बिकम्स इक्वल टू 1/2 VCC इंटू IC. VCC और IC हमें पता है वो सेम है. VCC की वैल्यू को अगर हम लोग लिख दें IC इंटू RL डैश, जो कि एक्चुअली में है, तो इट विल कम आउट टू बी IC स्क्वायर इंटू RL डैश. यही चीज़ बन जाएगी दोबारा से. तो जब हमने कैलकुलेट करनी है अब कलेक्टर एफिशिएंसी इन केस ऑफ क्लास ए एम्पलीफायर सर्किट, तो इसमें PAC ओवर PDC इंटू 100 हम लोग करेंगे, राइट? तो PAC की वैल्यू हमने यहाँ पे कैलकुलेट कर ली 1/2 IC स्क्वायर इंटू RL डैश, ठीक है? तो ये वैल्यू यहाँ पे पुट कर देंगे. PDC की वैल्यू हमें ऑलरेडी पता है IC स्क्वायर इंटू RL डैश, तो इट बिकम्स इक्वल टू IC स्क्वायर इंटू RL डैश ओवर हेयर. तो मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे जब 100 से, तो दिस विल बी कैंसल्ड आउट विद दिस थिंग एंड इट विल बिकम 1/2 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 100, एंड 2 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 100 कम्स आउट टू बी 50. सो दिस बिकम्स 50%. What is it? Collector efficiency, maximum collector efficiency, eta max लिखा हुआ था वहाँ पे, ठीक है? लिखा हुआ यहाँ पे eta max, that is the maximum collector efficiency in case of class A amplifier circuit is 50%. But because of some distortions, because of some losses in the power circuit, whatever we are using in between, so because of that class A amplifier circuit just only can give 35% of the efficiency, in spite of giving least distortion, in spite of working for conducting for the 360-degree complete half cycle. It just gives maximum efficiency of 50%, which is practically just only 35%, right? So that is why this is the collector efficiency of class A, and in this similar way we could calculate the collector efficiencies of class B, C, AB and all the power amplifier circuits, right? So let's now move on to the next point, that is the distortion. That in the different classes of circuits, class A, B, C, how the distortion is there, what distortion is present in this case. Now we will be discussing that, okay? So let us now discuss about the harmonic distortion in power amplifiers. That is, harmonics means the multiplication or the extra frequency signals that are added into your main fundamental signal that is to be generated in case of the power amplifier circuit. That is basically called the distortion or harmonics, basically the multiple frequency signals that are continuously generated in case of your output when we need to calculate the output signal, right? So in this case, when we talk about the input signal, that is say V in, the input signal, input fundamental signal, that is equals to V in into sine omega t, right? So V in is the input voltage, right? This is the input DC voltage, or you can say the maximum voltage. Then sine of angle omega t. Omega means the frequency that is included in that particular signal. Whenever we talk about any sinusoidal signal, then we have the magnitude, right? This is the magnitude, say V in, right? And then after the sine of angle omega, that is on which angle or on which frequency this is traveling, this wave is traveling, the frequency and the time period, both of the things are considered in case of a sinusoidal signal, fundamental signal, right? So if say this is the input sinusoidal signal that we are considering, then the output signal or the waveform that could be represented in the terms of current, then how it would be represented? Then it will be represented as I naught, that is the AC fundamental output current, that is equal to I naught, that is the DC component of the current that is present, the DC component of the current that is present in the current. Then it is added up with, it is not only that particular current and only this one is present in this signal when we calculate, but we are also having peak value of the first harmonic I1 along with sine omega t. Then we are having the peak value of the second harmonic, that is the multiple of the frequency component, right? That is the 2 omega t, second multiple. Initially we were having only pi, right? Yeah, we can say only having f. Then whenever we talk about the signals, when it goes from one end to the another end, when it is traveling or when it is moving on from the circuit, then sometimes because of the components that are being utilized in the circuit operation or working, then only f is not present, that is the fundamental frequency that should be present in the circuit, only that is not present, but along with this f we are having 2f, 3f, 4f and so on. Many harmonics are present in the circuit sometimes, and that are basically calculated or counted as the harmonics. That is why it is called the harmonic distortion that is present, which occurs because of the extra frequency signals or the multiple of the main frequency signals that are actually present, that should be actually present in the circuit, right? So I1 is considered to be the peak value of the first harmonic that is present in the circuit. Then I2 is considered the peak value of the second harmonic, that is why it is multiplied by 2. 2 omega means 2 pi f, so f ka multiple, right? When we talk about 3 omega t, then is 3f, 3 pi f, f ka third multiple, so on up to 4, 5, 6, कितने भी उसके components जो है वो यहाँ पे हो सकते हैं. Then when we talk about the distortion, when we call about the distortion, then what we say is the second harmonic. It starts from the second harmonic, mainly the distortion. So the second harmonic distortion is written as I2 by I1. If we will say the first harmonic distortion, then we could not write it because D1 will become equal to I1 by I1 because it is calculated with the first harmonic, right? So it will be cancelled and it will become 1, so it will not be considered, or it will be considered as 1 only, as like here we have considered it. So when we calculate the second harmonic distortion D2, then it is equals to I2 by I1. If we calculate third harmonic distortion, it will be I3 by I1 and so on. D2, 3, 4, 5, 6 जितनी भी harmonics distortions आ रही हैं वो हम लोग इसमें consider कर सकते हैं. So when we consider the total distortion, total harmonic distortion of the circuit complete, then it is described as D, and that is equals to under the root of D2 square प्लस D3 स्क्वायर प्लस D4 स्क्वायर प्लस सो ऑन अप टू जितने भी हार्मोनिक्स उसके अंदर प्रेजेंट हैं, तो उन सब का स्क्वायर प्लस अंडर रूट वो क्या बन जाती है, आपकी मेन डिस्टॉर्शन बन जाती है. एंड व्हेन वी कैलकुलेट द आउटपुट पावर, then what the output power is, then it is basically dependent upon the I1 square RL by 2, right? So this is the main output power that is considered in this particular case. It is basically called that the distortion अफेक्ट्स द आउटपुट पावर. सो बेसिकली हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे क्या कैलकुलेट करना है कि कितनी डिस्टॉर्शन आ रही है और कितनी डिस्टॉर्शन हमारी पावर ऑफ द सिग्नल को कितना ज़्यादा अफेक्ट कर रही है, राइट. दिस वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट. और हमें पता है कि जो डिस्टॉर्शन है वो आउटपुट पावर को अफेक्ट करेगी ही करेगी. तो जब भी डिस्टॉर्शन आती है तो आउटपुट पावर को हम लोग कैलकुलेट करते हैं. ये हम इस तरह से कैलकुलेट करते हैं कि हमारी डिस्टॉर्शन बीच में कंसिडर हो, ताकि हमें पता हो कि कितने हमारे लॉसेस होने हैं और कितनी हमें आउटपुट पे पावर मिल सकती है, राइट. तो दैट इज़ वाई इसमें हम लोग जो है फंडामेंटल करंट की वैल्यू और रेजिस्टेंस की लोड की वैल्यू लेके फिर हम लोग इसको कैलकुलेट करते हैं कि हमारी पावर की वैल्यू कितनी आ रही है, आउटपुट पावर कितनी है. तो अगर हमने टोटल पावर कैलकुलेट करनी है, एक सर्किट की नहीं, मतलब एक फंडामेंटल फ्रीक्वेंसी की नहीं, हमने टोटल पावर कैलकुलेट करनी है कि जितनी भी फ्रीक्वेंसीज जनरेट हो रही हैं, जितनी भी हार्मोनिक्स जितने भी हार्मोनिक्स जनरेट हो रहे हैं, मल्टीपल ऑफ द फ्रीक्वेंसीज 2, F3, F4, F5, F जितने भी हो रहे हैं जनरेट, उनको अगर हमने कैलकुलेट करना है तो वो किसके बराबर होगा, दिस टोटल पावर दैट विल बी इक्वल टू I1 स्क्वायर प्लस I2 स्क्वायर प्लस I3 स्क्वायर प्लस सो ऑन अप टू जितने भी आपके करंट्स हैं, जितने भी आपके ये हार्मोनिक सिग्नल्स हैं, मल्टीप्लाइड बाय RL बाय 2. दैट मीन्स कि ये चीज़ RL बाय 2 ये तो एज इट इज़ कॉमन रहेगी. और इस I1 स्क्वायर जो हमारा एक सर्किट की आउटपुट पावर थी जो I1 पे डिपेंड कर रही थी, अब हमने उसको टोटल निकालना है. तो वो टोटल में RL बाय 2 कॉमन आ जाएगा हर एक केस के अंदर, और बीच में जो एडिंग होगी आपके सिग्नल्स की, वो कौन सी एडिंग होगी आप लोगों के सिग्नल्स की, दैट विल बी I1 स्क्वायर प्लस I2 स्क्वायर प्लस जितने भी आपके करंट्स हैं वो सारे ऐड अप हो जाएंगे. अब अगर मैं इन सब में से I1 स्क्वायर जो मेन हमारा फर्स्ट हार्मोनिक है, जिसको हम लोग कंसिडर कर सकते हैं बीच में, अगर हम लोग वो कंसिडर कर लेंगे, तो अगर हम लोग उसको से फॉर एग्जांपल हम उसको बाहर निकाल देंगे, कॉमन ले लेंगे उसको I1 स्क्वायर को, इफ़ आई विल टेक कॉमन ओवर हेयर, तो क्या होगा यहाँ पे, दिस हेयर इट विल बी 1, I1 स्क्वायर तो बाहर निकल चुका है, और बाकी सब में I1 स्क्वायर क्या होगा, डिवाइड हो जाएगा. तो बाकी सारे टर्म्स क्या बन जाएंगे, I2 बाई I1 होल स्क्वायर, I3 बाई I1 होल स्क्वायर, I4 बाई I1 होल स्क्वायर एंड सो ऑन अप टू जितने भी आपके कॉम्पोनेंट्स हार्मोनिक्स प्रेजेंट हैं, राइट. सो हमें यहाँ पे हमने क्या देखा था कि जो D2 है वो किसके बराबर है, I2 बाई I1 के. D3 किसके बराबर है, I3 बाई I1 के, राइट. तो दैट इज़ वाई जो आपका पावर है वो किसके बराबर हो गया, 1 प्लस I2 बाई I1 क्या हो गया, D2 उसका स्क्वायर, I3 बाई I1 क्या हो गया, D3 उसका स्क्वायर, प्लस सो ऑन जितने भी डिस्टॉर्शन आपकी जितनी भी प्रेजेंट होगी वो उसके साथ में मल्टीप्लाई हो जाएगी. और I1 स्क्वायर इंटू RL बाई 2 ये क्या वैल्यू है हमारी पावर, दैट इज़ द आउटपुट पावर. तो यहाँ पे हमने P1 लिख लिया. तो दैट मीन्स ये जो फंडामेंटल पावर है, दिस मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 1 प्लस डी का होल स्क्वायर. वाई डी का स्क्वायर, बिकॉज यहाँ पे हम लोगों ने देखा था कि d इज इक्वल्स टू अंडर द रूट ऑफ D2 स्क्वायर प्लस D3 स्क्वायर प्लस सो ऑन. तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, 1 प्लस D2 स्क्वायर प्लस D3 स्क्वायर प्लस सो ऑन. अंडर रूट नहीं है, अगर यहाँ से अंडर रूट हटा दें तो ये क्या बन जाएगा, d स्क्वायर, राइट. सो हमने क्या किया, यहाँ से ये जो टर्म थी उसको इन कॉम्बिनेशन में हमने बना लिया, ये 1 प्लस डी स्क्वायर, ये चीज़ बन गई. तो हमारा ये टोटल पावर जो हमने कैलकुलेट करी वो क्या किसके बराबर होगी, वो किस पे डिपेंड कर रही है, वो डिस्टॉर्शन पे डिपेंड कर रही है, और फंडामेंटल पावर जो हमारी फर्स्ट हार्मोनिक की फंडामेंटल पावर है उस पे डिपेंड कर रही है. दैट मीन्स कि हम जब भी टोटल पावर अपने पावर एम्पलीफायर सर्किट्स में कैलकुलेट करेंगे तो वहाँ पे हमारी हार्मोनिक डिस्टॉर्शन जो है वो आएगी ही आएगी. तो ये चीज़ को हम इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते हैं, राइट. So this was all about today's lecture. इसके बाद इसके साथ ही मिलता जुलता एक टॉपिक है, दैट इज़ द डिस्टॉर्शन इन द पुश पुल एम्पलीफायर सर्किट, दैट वी विल डिस्कस इन द next lecture, when I will tell you about that, what a push pull amplifier circuit is, what a complementary symmetry amplifier circuit is. After that we will discuss that how the harmonic distortion affects the push pull amplifier circuits. So till then, take care, and if you will be having any doubts, we will be taking it in the live session. So thank you, take care.